new trailer that came out about a live action adaptation of the manga Look Back. I knew for quite a while that this would come out, but now we finally get a trailer, which I would like to watch. Actually, these drawings kind of look like the original ones, right? Like in the manga as well. Although they kind of look even worse. Because I only watched the anime, by the way, from Studio Dorian, I think, which is like one of my favorite movies. Such a good movie. But interestingly, the music that they are playing sounds kind of similar. It also has this piano, more laid back vibe.
今日もとも私の背中見て成長するんだな。部屋から出てよかった。藤野ちゃん、部屋から出してくれてありがとう。
Interestingly, it feels like here, at least in this trailer, we get even more focus on the relationship between these two girls. So, for everyone who don't know the source material, it's roughly about two girls who want to create manga, and Fujino, the first character, she always thought that she's the best artist in her school, and up until one point where another girl, Kyomoto, I think was her name, she submitted a manga of hers to the daily newspaper of their school. And it was so good that Fujino got kind of jealous, and they both decide at some point to work together. And it's a really, really nice story about artistry and about pushing each other further as well, and kind of about dreams as well. Oh yeah, I remember this shot actually from the anime. So this is actually almost a one-to-one recreation of the anime shot. Funnily, because at the beginning we had this fall scene, this one. This was pretty new for me. I never saw this in the manga, I think. But it's a really nice picture actually, with these big trees in all kinds of different colors, and our two characters are so small here while working on their art. This is also a really important part of the story, that one character lived really isolated for most of the time, and the other character initiates that they are going outside together and having a fun time as well. And this is also why she is thanking the other one.
出してくれてありがとう。
Yeah, this perspective actually is also one-to-one recreation from the manga. And by the way, here's actually a Shonen Jump magazine placed really, really prominently. And here are more manga. So they kind of recreated the original room of Fujino pretty accurately. Looks interesting so far. I don't know if we really need this. Like, we already have this manga one-shot of Fujimoto, like the source material, the original. And then we got the anime adaptation, which is also so good. But I think if we want to adapt one of Fujimoto's stories, then this one is probably the best one, since this is really realistic and you don't need that much of special effects. Like, the other one would probably be Goodbye Eri, but we will see. since Fujimoto stories are all so well written and so interesting. Actually, this one has like one special twist at the end, which is kind of controversial. So I would like to see how they handle this one because it's like a one punch in your face spin that you probably didn't saw coming. Of course, it does make sense, but it's something that a few people don't really like about the story in general. Actually, the format is also pretty interesting since this is not a normal widescreen format, and it's also not a cinema format. So this is probably a 1:78 aspect ratio, maybe. But yeah, really interesting. Yo, Kaeppster here outside from the stream. While editing the look back trailer, I was thinking about maybe it would be cool to get a new context again to the whole live action trailer. So I think it would be cool to watch the original anime trailer again just to see where are the differences, where are the similarities between these two trailers, what can we see already. So I think it would be a cool addition to watch the anime trailer again. Yeah, here we have actually the same images from the classroom. Although it's interesting that here in the live action shot, this is a still frame. Although usually it's way more easier in a live action film to add a moving camera because especially here, this shot where the perspective is just changing for every character, like as you can see, we have different rows here. The camera is moving alongside of these characters, and so the perspective is also moving. So this is way more complex.
Mangaか京本誰それ
隣の組にいる不登校の子。
藤野先生京本藤野先生は漫画の天才です私もっと絵上手くなるね
Yeah, and this is actually almost the same shot like in the live action. We are also outside of the store, although here we are way closer. But from the idea, it's pretty much the same. What I like here way more is the expression of the characters. Like when we watch Kyomoto and Fujino talking to each other, reacting to each other. For me, there's way more expression into these warm characters than in the live action.
京本も私の背中見てするんだなあんたいつまで漫画描いてんのそろそろ絵描くの卒業した方がいいよ何してんだ私じゃあ藤野ちゃんはなんで描いてるの
And I think it's interesting that this trailer focuses way more on the art itself. Also, it really focuses on the relationship between these two, but the main thing is why do you draw in this trailer? And this is for me also the main point of this whole film. And I still love these shots because this is so incredibly well made.
なんで描いたんだろうもっと絵上手くなりたいもん描いても何も役に立たないのに私部屋から出て
And here we have again, just as in the live action trailer, these scenes where the two girls are going outside together and just having a nice time, which is also a really important part, especially for Kyomoto. And this is what this first half of the live action trailer resembles as well. Like here we see really good the relationship between these two.
よかったすごく楽しかったまたねまたね
I always like this shot of Fujino waving her hand and saying see you later. I don't know why. It's so simple, but it's so effective, and it's almost the same as in the live action here. We can see that this is really looking pretty close to each other. But for me, this has way more emotion. But maybe it's just because I watch this film so often. And maybe it's also the music, because the music of Tenyu Haruka Nakamura is so good in this movie. It's like one of my favorite film scores. But again with the piano. Just look at these expressions. Although these are so simple drawings, for me it's giving me way more than these ones. Although we really see that they really orientated the visual direction to at least the anime. Here we are having these close-up shots of the two girls to really see the emotions. And especially here, of course. So this is something that I see pretty often when we compare live action footage to anime footage, that in the live action they are going way closer to the actors than in an anime, which makes sense because you want to convey some kind of closeness to the viewer, that the viewer can really see the emotions of the actor. While in anime, since these are all drawn characters, simplified characters as well, it's easier for us to get into these characters because of this simplicity. So these are two different approaches in my opinion. So, and there's also a teaser trailer that came before the last trailer that we watched, and I think it's pretty interesting since this one shows a few other scenes and focuses more on the art, in my opinion. Like here, this is the time when Fujino is drawing and trying to improve her art. And here we see both drawing together in the process. And this shot is also pretty interesting since this is one-to-one outside of the anime at least, when Fujino is running through the rain and jumping in these little puddles. And again we are seeing these two characters drawing together and having a time together. So I think that was a nice little comparison and added a new view to the first trailer that we saw. And I hope you liked it. If you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel. Here you can find more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.